Off-roading can be for the adrenaline pump or even for public entertainment if you're a professional and doing professional driving. From gravel, mud, and snow to riverbeds, ruts, and rocks, you've got the option of taking any of the vehicles listed here for fun. That's what Carl Jantz did after learning about his cancer and limited time on Earth. Not wanting to give in to destiny, he packed his Jeep and went on the Alaska off-road race with Rich Rudman. And you should see what they traveled with. Their Super Jeep carried everything from camping to cooking to cleaning equipment. From being stuck in swamps to smoke coming out of the hood, they saw it all, fixed it all, and were eventually named the winners of the race. While that was a whole new level of off-roading, most people buy off-roaders to make it through the snow, if living in wintry places, or because they need it for their occasional off-road endeavors over the weekend, perhaps alone, perhaps with friends, or maybe with kids. But yes, most of the off-roaders listed aren't solely designed for off-roading. Most owners use these vehicles for their daily driving and then take them on excursions here and there. Some of these are pickups, some SUVs, but at the end of the day, they're all beasts. Beasts that can traverse terrains unvisited or rarely visited by the average human. Number 10. Ford Raptor. Originating from the Ford F-Series, the SVT Raptor came to light in 2009. It was introduced as a dedicated off-road full-size pickup truck, which is distinct from your regular F-Series trucks. Its 3.5-liter V6 engine, which is paddle-shifted to a 10-speed automatic, gives you a whopping 450 horsepower. Should you need to accelerate rather quickly through the patch of muddy road, feel free to take advantage of the near 5-second 0 to 60 miles per hour time. With the all-wheel drive, each axle and tire receives the power, which the tires should, as they look nice and ready to tackle the adventure with you. Much like the Ram, this one has dampers and an underside skid, along with the other standard stuff. The bumpers are a bit stylish, although not as full as Ram's Rebel. Unfortunately, Ford doesn't produce the Raptor anymore. Number 9. Nissan Patrol. The four-wheel drive SUV is made in Japan and sold throughout the world. In production since 1951, currently the Patrol is in its 6th generation. Since 2017, all models had the same 7-speed automatic transmission, unlike the previous models, which had options of a 5 or 6-speed automatic. This off-roader offers locking front and rear differentials, extra wheel articulation through the disconnecting sway bar, and the hydraulic body motion control suspension system, all of which provide the amazing off-road prowess. Now, Nissan has released the Armada, which is a derivative of the Patrol, for US customers. The Armada is not truly as good of an off-road SUV as the Patrol though, but the Patrol isn't sold in the US due to cost effectiveness and return on investment. Number 8. Lexus LX. You might internally berate me for putting another costly vehicle on the list, but save that for an actual pricey item down the list. I think I was writing about SUVs when I first boasted about LX's off-road capabilities. But before I dive into that, let's not forget the due credit to the luxury brand name, something that only the Mercedes, and another one, has on the list. The SUV's spindle grille looks sharp, although the sedan model gets it completely right. Anyways, the LX also packs an electro-hydraulic suspension and a multi-terrain select system. The former helps keep the car level and bouncy as needed, and the latter changes the traction and response according to the landscape. These are on top of what the Land Cruiser offers. Number 7. Bentley Bentayga. If you ever have the kind of money that Bentayga requires at nearly $200,000, you should put this on the top of your list. Like some of the other beasts here, the Bentayga has amazing off-road capabilities. The only difference is that luxury isn't compromised off-road. You can still start your endeavor of going through the slimy roads, treacherous ruts, swampy lands, and steep roads with an infant sleeping in the back, and once you get through the hurdle, the infant will still be asleep. The engine doesn't start making obnoxiously loud noises once it's in the middle of the storm. The ground clearance of the SUV is markedly high at 10 inches, and the power is tremendous. The 6-liter twin-turbo W12 produces 600 horsepower, 663 pound-feet of torque, and a 4-second 0 to 60 miles per hour time. The on-road numbers aren't the weakness of the Bentayga either. Number 6. Chevrolet Colorado ZR2. Actually named after the state Colorado, the mid-sized pickup has earned accolades from all over the 50 states. The Colorado was introduced in 2004, replacing Chevrolet S10 GMC Sonoma pickup trucks. Although the LT trim is most common, the base trim has 16-inch steel wheels, vinyl seating surfaces, power windows and lock doors, and a chrome front grille. The ZR2 is the off-road version. It has off-road tires, aluminum alloy wheels, leather-trimmed seats, and a rear bed-mounted light bar. All of these make your ride more doable in the off-road conditions. The tapered bumper is new to the model, which allows the front wheels to have more legroom. And by no means does that demolish the look of the ZR2, for the exterior looks sharp as ever. Number 5. Land Rover Discovery. The Brits also have a couple of good rides on their little island, from Jaguar to Lotus to Aston Martin. While the Land Rover Discovery wasn't listed among those rides due to its class, be assured that the Discovery is a true discoverer. I intentionally chose this picture to display the feats of the 2018 Land Rover Discovery. It made it through the extremely slippery and steep terrain shown in the picture. Despite probably being a better-than-average driver, I'm sure the driver couldn't see squat from his high cabin, but he came down without damaging the jutting flora or the Discovery. Equipped with either a 340 horsepower V6 or a 254 horsepower turbo diesel V6 and the off-road electronics, you can ride it through a relatively shallow pool of water in the viscous bottom as if it's no biggie, and it probably isn't for the Discovery. Number 4. 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. Considered a legendary off-road vehicle, the Wrangler is now in its 4th generation, and the 4th generation is just spectacular. It has some improvements, but also some new features. You don't have to worry about zippers in the Sunrider soft tops, just push at the right places and it'll fold properly. Of course, you got the ability to fold flat the windshield on your off-road adventures. Certain models allow you to remove the side windows, and like in the previous models, the doors can also be removed with the given tools in the new Wrangler JL. Don't worry, you won't lose the tools because they're nicely stowed in the cargo area. You can entirely disassemble it in pieces for your convenience. You can take this car wherever your heart desires. You don't go on a trail with the Wrangler JL, you create one. Number 3. Scorpion MK1. They stopped producing this beast decades ago. One look at it and you'll know why. It can do illegal things in the arena of off-road vehicles. The one you're looking at was built in 1978, assuming production began a year before the model was released. Its creators? Who else if not Jeep? If you look closely at the picture, you can see that the boulders are taller than the tires, yet it got up there. And it's not as if someone brought a crane, lifted the beast up, and placed it such that one of the front tires landed on a stone and one of the rear tires on another boulder. It's like all 4 tires are at different angles, at various heights. But that's feasible because the axles do provide 90 degrees plus approach and departure angles. What a beast! It used to frequently be used in government endeavors. Number 2. Mercedes-Benz Unimog. While the Scorpion MK1 was what it was, the medium truck Unimog is something even more. It's seen serving a wide array of functions in much of Europe. However, the same can't be said of in the US, where only the modified versions make it, and even then, in limited quantities. But the Unimog is a beast for all types of terrains. The drivetrain is modified to do various specialty tasks, including mowing and towing, doing railroad maintenance and construction work, and serving as military vehicles. Unimogs can operate in deep water and access the inaccessible remote areas due to the design and powertrain. The ground clearance itself is half a meter. While I shared this cool picture of a civilian Unimog, they're widely used in the military. Number 1. Custom-built tube frame off-roader. There's probably only one thing that beats the Unimog, a vehicle created by the genius, you. If you have the expertise or even the enthusiasm, you can create your own off-roader. Want the wheels to have more approach and departure angle? You got it. Want to have the biggest tires on the planet? You have it. Want that V8 instead of the V6? Sure, give it a shot. Want the top-notch suspensions instead of the standard ones? Have a go at it. Even if you have the necessary experience, it's a good idea to learn the tools of welding though. Now if you don't have any experience in off-roading or cars, then you might consider all the ones on the list. But if you know what you want, you can make it happen.